Alright, so what we're going to do here is work with DTP. Your default mode in your switches is called auto, so we want to switch that. On the gigabit 01 interface, basically between switch 1 and switch 2 in topology. See different options here. So that's activated the interface automatically, and the VLAN 99, once your management VLAN is now on. And the other end also needs to be configured. Same exact command. And you'll see the topology here that I'm talking about, so no need to look at that command on switch 2. It's exactly the same as on switch 1. Alright. So on the link between S1 and S3, we're going to set up a static trunk link. Which we've done previously. Same command on S3. Alright, so we're seeing spanning tree issues here, which is expected. Next up on switch 1, we're going to get the interface range figured for native VLAN 999 rather than 99, just so it's not default. Sorry. Giants. Something up with the way it's recording. I'm afraid it's not gonna see if it works. It is capturing. I don't know if it's gonna capture yet. There we go. Sometimes Packet Tracer will not accept the truncated version of commands. So usually the problems. So it's normally just type up the whole one if you can. Alright, that's my fault. Forgot the 9. Alright, so now we're going to set up the VTP server. Switch color. So you set up a password. And now that you have the VTP server set up, you have to add the other two switches as clients. So with your VTP mode command, as we saw here, you add it as a client, and then you add the domain and the password with the same syntax as you did when you set up the server. So we'll look at S2 as an example, and I'll add it on S3 without the need to duplicate the demonstration. So we're in the interface configuration. We'll get out of that. Same stuff on S3. And we're going to know that's set. We can use the show VTP password command and check it. Actually, what we're going to do with S3 is a little different. As you can see, there's another option. Let's see what transparent does. There's another option in our VTP mode commands. Client server transparent. Basically what this is going to do is this just allows you in some ways to prevent your VLAN hopping via anti-tagging attacks, because you're doing what you're doing at the data link layers, you're securing it, so it has to, you have to know this password to access another layer of security, which you're going to want to do. I mean, obviously that's a problem, so S1, we're going to want to add VLANs. This is very, basic. Creating a VLAN is simple. Let's see if I created the wrong one or not. So if you're doing packet traces, the syntax has to be exact according to the example. You don't get graded properly. So now that we've added these VLANs, they're going to be sent to the other switches. Alright, so basically the next step, all you're going to be doing is grouping together your fast Ethernet ports, which are the ports that are going to be accessed by client computers in the topology. So in the topology, your fast Ethernet ports are the ones you want to reserve for client machines. The gigabit ports are the links between switches, for obvious reason. You want your links between your networking devices to be faster at the data link layer. Okay. Go in here and see if we can do this. I have a lot of problems with OBS. I am going to have to figure out why that mismatch is happening. Probably committed to a grave sin of a typo, which is going to limit our capacities here. Well, it's saying that there's a mismatch with S1. So I can fix that. See if it accepts the end range command. Nobody wants to type all that. Giving it access. Yep. So that's your other option here. What I gotta do, ports 9 to 16. Not plug in my laptop. That's important. Decided I was gonna stop giving video to my TV, or my TV shut itself off. That's how I do these. Okay, let me see. More actions. Oh, okay, I missed a step. And so on down the line here. Mimics what you would do in a real situation. So if you've seen a switch, all you're doing is you're grouping together. You've got your 2 gigabit Ethernet ports on one end, and then you have all your fast Ethernet ports, 24 of them. All right, you're just grouping those together as data link packages, so that let's say you have a VLAN for your production team on your computers. They can access the VLAN stuff through the switch. You have another VLAN 20 for, and in this case it's called red. Well, let's say red team needs to access their material and so forth. So that's the application of it. And the switchboard mode access is giving the access to the given VLAN. And what you're going to do on switch 3 is according to the topology given in the packet tracers. So you see how much it matches. Yeah, it's exactly the same. So you're using exactly the same ports, and you're using the exact same VLANs in order to produce those on switch 3. And I need to figure out why it's doing that. I know when I did my internship at a school district, the VLAN commands were definitely used. They had a poor understanding of routing protocols because I believe all of their networking guys worked in a different office. So you had their networking techs who just knew, how to do the commands, kind of like I do, right? But couldn't tell you why. So, for instance, one of the techs was pulling up the running configuration on one of the routers, and you should be able to read that up and down. There's a lot of stuff on there you might not be familiar with, but if you've been through your 4-semester Cisco course, you should know what's what on there, what might be related to what. I mean, maybe you don't need to know the difference between OSPF and EIGRP, but I don't know. It was funny. And it's funny because those people who worked there, not a single one of those people had a certification. So I feel cheated. It's generally a good idea to know how to chalk shop, I guess, but I don't know what the standards are in this town. Alright, so the VLANs that I'm adding don't exist, so that tells me I probably did miss that step of adding them to switch 3. May not be even necessary. See what happens. Look at your packet tracers, and you can see what you're missing. Tests don't work that way. The tests are there to destroy you. It's basically a weed out process. You can't pass the tests, they don't want you having the cert. If it wasn't worth the struggle, would they be paying you $40,000 a year as a junior network admin? Probably not. Would you make $90,000 a year as a senior network admin? Probably not. I've got to spell it. This is the English language. So that's done. I need to see what the deal is. S1, my VLAN name is VLAN names are incorrect. And my native VLAN on S3 and S2 are incorrect. So that's why we're getting the problem. and you can't refresh the grading portion. It's going to show you according to what you clicked on initially. So if you're trying to do it and correct it in real time, it's not going to show you that. Alright. Now for this, let's go to S2. I want to show you this. We'll mess around with this. Alright, we're on S2. Again, rather than having to move around, so VLAN 99 is there. So we're just going to replicate some gigabit 01. So the command that we are dealing with and then the same on S3. Except on S3, the relevant port is gigabit 02. The reason it's 02 is that is obviously the gigabit length between, that's the only one, so that's fine. There's no need to explain that. Getting okay, switching back and forth between the two. Alright, so on 3. Getting command is typed. That's ridiculous. Okay. This command, look at the options. Alright. So that can fix the inconsistency that we're looking at. So you saw the debugging messages popping up throughout the thing. So yeah, that's because I missed one of the steps there to set up those trunk links for the native management VLAN that we created. So that is how you set up VTP servers on your Cisco switches.